So I've just watched the new Wonder Woman movie and I've gotta say this movie is complete garbage. The whole movie is basically a propaganda piece against Trump. I'm not even joking. People tried to warn me about it, but I just refused to listen. Full on spoilers ahead, so if you want to enjoy this movie and be surprised by just how awful it is, well, you've been warned. So the movie starts off sometime in the 80s. This movie knew I was gonna forget the year, so they added it in the title. But seriously, why did they felt the need to add the year in the title? Will they do this for every movie from now on? No, we all know why they felt the need to mention the year. It's because they wanted to emulate what Thor Ragnarok did with its colorful 80s style visuals. But where that movie had the balls
That's what
to just go with a certain aesthetic, this one feels the need to mention it's set in the wacky 80s, so if we see some weird shit, we would know why, in a sort of don't blame the movie, blame the year kind of way. But the movie isn't even that colorful, apart from one scene, but for the most part it looks washed out and bland, exactly like the soul of this movie, so at least they got something right. So anyways, the movie starts in, and we're immediately introduced to our main bad guy, Trump. I'm not kidding, it looks like a young Trump, advertising his failing company. Get it? Cause Trump filed for bankruptcy in some of his old companies, I guess. But this is America. Isn't filing for bankruptcy part of a successful business? But don't worry, Trump's got a plan. I'm not even. His plan involves hiring four doofuses to steal a magic stone MacGuffin thingy that grants wishes, and instead of using it like every other character in this movie, he absorbs the stone into himself, making him basically a wish-granting genie.
Of course!
Unfortunately, his plan gets sidetracked by Wonder Woman, who's busy fighting the dumbass patriarchy. And wouldn't you know it, the stone gets sent to the museum she just happens to work at, together with her new colleague, Ghostbusters lady. Gloves, put your gloves on. Gloves, can we get this lady some gloves, please? You're touching museum pieces with your dirty 1980s hands.
I can't imagine this is worth any more than $75.
Oh, okay, chuck it in the fucking garbage next to this movie and call it a day. Following some girl time, we learn that the Ghostbusters lady wants to be more like Diana, and Diana misses her dead-ass boyfriend. Ah, if only we'd have a magical stone that grants wishes. Hey, wait a minute. So both of them make their wishes and they all live happily ever after. No, of course not. Trump shows up, steals the stone, absorbs it, and starts ruining people's days by granting them wishes, but taking whatever he wants in return. Why didn't he just wish to be the ruler of the world? Well, because the stone takes your most precious attribute in return for the wish. So for the Ghostbusters lady, that was her good-hearted nature. For Diana, it was her superpowers. And for Trump, I guess he figured that it would be his love for his child. Oh yeah, there's a kid in this movie. Practically useless, but for one crucial scene at the end. I wish we had a name for things that constantly show up, aren't important, but somehow manage to play a huge role at the end. Anyways, Trump has all the power now, and it's up to Diana and her boyfriend to save the day. By the way, her boyfriend possesses the body of this random guy, and they end up having sex. Diana and the boyfriend, not the... you know what I mean. And it seems that some people criticize this movie for having Diana, gonna play it safe now and call it, illegal sex with the guy. But I don't know if I can see it that way. I don't think it would have even registered with me if they hadn't warned me about it. And I think there's enough wrong with this movie that people don't need to search for extra stuff to be upset about. At least this is my opinion. It didn't bother me. Anyways, where was I? So Diana and her boyfriend steal a fighter jet and go after Trump. How is he piloting a jet when the last time he flew was in an airplane made out of wood and canvas? Does Hollywood think we're that stupid that we would believe he can fly a jet just like that? This scene should have played out like this.
You want to choose?
This one.
You remember I mentioned the colorful scene? Well, Maverick over here decides to impress his girlfriend and flies the frickin' jet straight into a fireworks show. Wasn't flak invented during the First World War? Ah yes, of course, the German Kanonflak. Gotta love the Americans, cutting all that extra nonsense out the way and just calling it flak. No, unfortunately, we're not that lucky. So they get to where Trump is busy building a wall. Not even in Hitler's or Stalin's soakiest of wet dreams would they have imagined that propaganda would reach such blatant heights in the 21st century. So Trump escapes and our heroes return back home. How? What about the airplane? Ah, never mind, who cares? Clearly, scenes just happen in this movie. It's one of those. They track down the origin of the stone, and apparently it's been involved in every civilization's downfall. This scene reminds me of those amazing scenes from Indiana Jones where the item is being introduced, but where the Ark of the Covenant exists independently of the movie, having its own mythology and just general gravitas that instills a sense of wonder and dread into us. Now we have this Lucky Charm stone, introduced by this guy rather than historians, in this place rather than a respected university. Well, it's 2021, so no university is respected anymore, so I guess they got me there. So anyway, they figured that if they stopped Trump, then they would revert the world to how it used to be before, somehow. The only issue is, if they do that, they will lose their own wishes. So of course the Ghostbusters lady turns evil.
Typical.
And starts protecting Trump because she doesn't want to lose her wish. Do you get it? Do you get the reference? Trump, meanwhile, is busy finding out about a way to touch all humans at once. Ew. In order to make them all wish for something so that he can take away everything he wants from them. So he orders the president to have him flown over to a secret base in the middle of nowhere so he can broadcast his message to the whole world.
I don't want to be like anyone anymore. I want to be number one. An apex predator.
What, like a lion or something? Don't you think that the powers of a demigod are better? You do know that even others are apex predators in their own ecosystem, right? What if you get turned into one of those? Meanwhile, Diana renounces her wish, gets her superpowers back, and flies to the secret base. And I don't know if I missed this, but do they even explain how she knows where to go? Well, anyways, she finds her way over and starts fighting Cheetah, I guess. Yeah, see, if you kept Diana's powers, you wouldn't be in this situation. Then Wonder Woman finally faces off against her biggest enemy, Trump.
You're too late.
At first I thought he simply wished for her to be too late, which would have been a little bit smart, but then I remembered that he can't actually make a wish himself, so I guess she was actually too late. And now comes the cringiest part of the movie, which is saying a lot. She uses the machine to send her own message to the world. And Wonder Woman's message to us, and yes, I do mean us, as in the audience, she literally turns to the camera and tells us to stop wishing for stuff. Wonder Woman is literally telling the world to stop wishing. Are you fucking kidding me, movie? Millions of people across the world are having a hard life, and you're telling them to stop wishing. That's your message. Not to work hard and to make your wishes, your dreams a reality. No, just stop wishing, you plebes. This is how disconnected from the world these rich cunts are. They think that this is a good message to people, to children. Another imposter pretending to be a hero. God damn it. Wonder Woman would never say something like this. She'd tell you that wishes are good, that they give our dreams form, and that we should strive to reach those dreams. This isn't Wonder Woman, this is Gal Gadot again being out of touch with the real world.
Imagine there's no heaven.
Let's get this over with. So Trump realizes that his kid is in danger just as much as everybody else is if the world goes to shit, so he renounces his wish, making him normal again, and then he runs to his kid. Wait, how did he get to him this fast? Wasn't there an ocean there? Who cares, the movie's almost over. Now we see that Trump was just a scared little boy who lied his way to the top, you get it now? Just to get to the popular kids. So the moral of the story is, I don't know, don't vote for Trump. He sucks, so stop listening to him. And what? Stop wishing? Just give up? Accept your fate? Vote Democrat? It's for the greater good? The greater good. What the hell? Is this movie literally made by the Illuminati? No offense to normal people who voted Democrat, but you have to understand that this sort of emotional manipulation from our media isn't good. In fact, I'd go so far as call it evil. Finally, the movie ends with the Diana imposter meeting the guy that was possessed and just walking away. Oh, and there's this secret ending bit, but who cares? The movie was just ass. It was boring and bland, and with all the political propaganda freakiness going on, you might think it's a car wreck worthy of watching, but you'd be wrong. You know a movie sucks when you have to constantly check the time. It felt really long, full of bad messages and just general meanness to like half the US population, and the world actually, and it was just awful. I wouldn't recommend it. If you want to watch Wonder Woman, just stick to the original. It wasn't as great as most people make it out to be, but at least it didn't have demonic Illuminati messages in it. Or maybe stick with the animated movies. Those are much better than this propaganda trash, and some even have good messages of cooperation and understanding. Anyways, thank you for watching, please consider subscribing, and I really do mean this. Have a nice day, because we sure need some.